Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CLAREMATRIX 50th anniversary virtual event. I am Alonzo Bowden, one of your hosts, along with my friend Billy Gardell. What do you say, Billy?
Hello, sir. I am Alonzo's sidekick for the evening, and that is why we look like every bad cop movie in the 80s. But we're happy to be here with you tonight, and we're hoping to raise a lot of money for this incredible celebration of 50 years of CLAREMATRIX.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. Listen, to celebrate 50 years of saving lives through recovery, we're going to hear from the people who make it happen, people who support us, people who have been through CLAREMATRIX and their lives have been saved by recovery. And I don't mind telling you right now, although I didn't go through CLAREMATRIX, I do have 32 years of sobriety. And some would say that's 32 years of sobriety not marred by one day of spiritual growth. So there's that.
And I have 12 years of sobriety because of people like my friend Alonzo and places like CLAREMATRIX. I did not go through Claire, but I have been supporting this place since my friend Chuck Lorre turned me on to it. I have seen the miracles this place produces. I have taken the tour of the facility. This is a beautiful organization, and the money goes exactly where it's supposed to. CLAREMATRIX saves lives through the entire continuum of care, which means they handle everything from admission to aftercare and individual services such as detoxification, residential and outpatient treatment, behavioral health and sober living, and as many as 10,000 citizens are served annually by this program, and an additional 20,000 are served by this program's call center, and no one is turned away due to an inability to pay. And that's where you guys come in. So we're hoping you're going to be with us and give whatever you can tonight. Alonzo, tell them how they can donate.
We need your donations, and here's how you do it. The simple way, just hit the donate button and give whatever you can. Every little bit helps. We appreciate it. Also, you can text CM50 to 44144. That's CM50 to 44144. Now, some find it confusing texting in manners like this. If you have any problems, find a teenager. They will show you how to do it. They will not want to be bothered with you. They will show. There'll be a lot of exhaling there, and then they'll show you to do it. So get a teenager to help you. Listen,
exactly.
Like Billy said, at a time when many other facilities are out of reach financially or closed for new patients because we've got the pandemic going on, CLAREMATRIX has kept its doors open, and we need your help to help the neediest members of our community.
That's exactly right. And like Alonzo said, you hit the donate button or you can text to donate. And then we also have a silent auction that is going right now, and it'll be going through the show, and it'll continue to stay open an hour after our program. And check out this thing, man, because in our silent auction, if you register for the bidding, all that money again goes to Claire. There's going to be great things to win. You can bid on a one-on-one call with Russell Brand or Jamie Lee Curtis. And I know that's special because we're all on the show together, and they won't talk to me or Alonzo. So get in on that because that might be fun. We also have hotel stays, fitness packages, restaurant gift certificates. We have some Beatles special editions album. For those of you who remember when rock and roll was written by poets. We have guitars signed, drums signed. There's just a litany of things that are all been donated to Claire, all for the cause of making money to take care of these people and give them their lives back, give them their souls back. It is possible. We've seen it happen. Now, so if you're wondering where your donations go, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. One, it's to treat many more people in need, including women and children. It's also to expand the residential and outpatient treatment centers at Claire, also to broaden and enrich our youth and parent education programs. And it doesn't matter, man. Give what you can. If you're lucky enough to be sitting on some extra cash right now, you don't need another watch. You don't need another car. What's it worth to you to give a mom back to their family, or to give a son back to their mother? This is big stuff, man, and it's real, and it's powerful, and I hope you get involved with the right spirit. And it, like I said, $5. We'll take $5. I don't care. But here's what some of the other donations can give you. $240 covers the cost of medications for detox service. $2,000 donation covers costs for food for the day for the place. $5,000 covers 30 days treatment for one patient, for one participant. $15,000 covers a 90-day treatment for one participant, and $12,000 covers 90 days of outpatient treatment. This is all great stuff, and we hope you're going to be on board with us. We have great videos and great information and some inspirational stuff and some special guests dropping by, and we just hope you're going to be with us the whole night tonight, and we hope you'll give when you can. Alonzo?
And one of the things that we're going to show you continually tonight is the thermometer, right? That's it. We're going to show you how we're doing, how much money we're getting, what's coming in. So right now we're at $245,733 with a goal of $350,000. I see Sheldon Gilman gave 100, Michael and Jennifer Childress 517, and on and on. We are going to be following
look, David Grewalt gave $207. That, you know what that means? He had $200 and 7 singles, and he even put that in there. So we give David some extra credit. That's how you give.
That's how you give. We'll take those 7 singles without the 250.
That's right.
However you want to help us, we'll take it. Now, right now, we're going to start with our first video. This is from CLAREMATRIX CEO. She has dedicated the last 30 years of her life to working in the substance use and mental health treatment field. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a video from Dr. Lisa Steele.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Steele, CEO of CLAREMATRIX. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Organizing events virtually takes a lot of work, but it's our new reality, and I would like to thank our CLAREMATRIX staff and Malibu Films for the incredible amount of work that they put into making this night special. I'd like to give special thanks to our board of directors, who, because of their steadfast commitment, will enable us to continue hopefully for another 50 years. You're in for a treat tonight. We have Alonzo Bowden and Billy Gardell hosting this event, and I'm so grateful for their time and their compassion and their energy for making tonight what it is going to be. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Chuck Lorre Family Foundation and Werner Family Foundation for their ongoing generosity, which has enabled us to have such a wonderful and special night tonight. This is an unprecedented time. Prior to COVID-19, we really struggled to meet the need of all of the people that needed treatment. When you add COVID-19, California has an overstressed and underfunded system of care. And while the world has been focusing on trying to reduce the spread and to bring back our economy and help it to come back into motion where people are really struggling with addiction, people are finding themselves much more isolated and in fear of financial devastation, increasing depression and anxiety and suicidal ideation. Since February, when we came to realize the impact of COVID-19, there's been a 35% increase in overdose deaths. Alcohol sales are up 55% and increasing. There's more depression and mental health symptoms that are occurring in droves of people, many of which are experiencing these symptoms for the first time. But let's make no mistake, there is a tsunami coming, a tidal wave of people who need treatment for addiction and behavioral health as a result of this pandemic. People who lost their sobriety after many years of being clean because they have to deal with loss of businesses, unemployment, loss of relationships and loved ones. But just as we know the tsunami is coming, it comes at a time when funding for substance use disorder treatment and mental health treatment are at greatest risk for losing funding due to lack of tax dollars, which funds programs like ours. Imagine, if you will, scores of people who are making the brave decision to come into treatment and are holding on to the glimmer of hope that they deserve a better life than the one addiction has given them, seeking treatment, but finding themselves that there are no treatment centers or a lack of treatment centers because of funding. Having little to no social support coming out of the pandemic, they'll be forced to white knuckle it, a method that we all know is really the riskiest for survival. Unlike most other treatment centers, CLAREMATRIX never once closed their doors or reduced capacity to serve because of COVID-19. We recognized on day one that people are much more likely to die from substance use than they are from COVID-19. Despite getting pushback from the community who thought we should stop taking in new participants because of the virus, we chose to stay open to fight addiction and to save lives through recovery. Some of you may be asking, why take the risk? Well, we took and continue to take the risk because we know that while people may not die from COVID-19, they will die from their addiction. Not on our watch. Not on our watch.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Again, that's CLAREMATRIX CEO, Dr. Lisa Steele.
Thank you very much, Doc. And we're going to go now to a video of our first first big celebrity that's come by to help join in our cause, and I'm excited.
Wait, Billy, wait a minute.
What?
Now you're a big celebrity, right? At the very least, well known.
I'm a ham and egger. Look, I'm middle management. I'm never up in the office. I just work down at the plant. That's how I look at things, and I learned that in sobriety, worker among worker. Ladies and gentlemen.
Office? Nobody told me
there's no office, and we would get thrown out of it. It says it in the book. All right. Listen, our first celebrity guest that's chosen to join our help our cause. She is a Golden Globe and Comedy Award winning
actress. I had everything.
There she is. Jamie Lee Curtis.
I had everything you want. Everything. I am the Everest bottom. I had huge success, public success, financial success. Got told I was fabulous every day. People loved me, give me thumbs up everywhere I go. And I was secretly, in a 10-year run, addicted to Vicodin and alcohol. There's a great disparity between people who can afford sober treatment, who can afford private counseling and all the rest of it, and people who can't, the haves and have-nots. And I was taken immediately when I went to Claire on Pico. I was immediately taken with how even the ground is when you're an addict or a sober person. That it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in any meeting whose hand I'm holding or nowadays whose elbow I'm elbowing, but it doesn't matter because that person will help me as much as that person. And it has nothing to do with what I have, what I'm worth, what I do. It has to do with a shared history of addiction and recovery. And I know those people know me better than most of the colleagues I work with. Many of my own family don't know me as well as these people who were strangers to me, who became lifelong friends. My experience is that when I look at a sober person, there is an openness to that person that tells me that they're receiving me, I'm receiving them, and what we're sharing is actual truth, happening right here with you. I can see the pain that you've gone through in your life. I bet you can see it in mine. And somehow we're standing here and we're sober. And I don't know what that is. And that's the miracle of recovery. It isn't quantifiable. It's not an object. It's not a thing. It's not something you can go buy. You can't buy recovery. You can't buy anything that has to do with a spiritual feeling, an inside job. You only acquire it cellularly, like a laborious mosaic, which is how Anaïs Nin describes enlightenment. It's a laborious mosaic. It's tiny increments of piecing together things that look unrelated, and then slowly, if we get to stay sober until we pass, we will have a sense of who we are, why we're here, what we're doing here, what our purpose is, and that our primary purpose is to help other people achieve sobriety, to be able to get to the same vision of that mosaic in themselves, because their feeling is fragmented and lost as I was. It's the 50th anniversary now. We are 50 years in to the kind of help and advocacy that Claire offers their clients. And it's happening right in the middle of the worst healthcare crisis in this country in a century. And that's not an accident, because the anniversary of 50 years of Claire shows what can happen when people come together and offer help for free to their neighbors. And it's thrilling to be able to be apart from this 50th gala. Obviously, I would be there with all y'all. We would be celebrating the miraculous healing that has taken place at CLAREMATRIX. I'm asking you, give as generously as you possibly can, because the need could not be greater and the possible results could not be more important and more transformative. So I hope that you guys will join me.
How about that, man? Absolutely beautiful. And you know, here's a woman, Golden Globe Comedy Award winning actress, New York Times best-selling children's author, advocate and activist for the underprivileged, and a longstanding friend of CLAREMATRIX. And you can hear it in her voice, man. you know, the language of the heart reads better than anything else, and you could hear it in her voice. Thank you, Jamie Lee Curtis, for joining our cause and for your heartfelt message. Thank you.
That was beautiful. And you know, Billy, we joke about the celebrity and the this and that, but like she said, when you're in there, it's one app talking to another. It's
That's
one
it.
alcoholic helping another, and nobody asks what you do for a living. Nobody asks your last name.
That's right.
This is the only place where, like she said, you develop lifelong friends, and they're like, "What's your last name?" Not sure.
I don't know. P.
So listen, this
Yes.
is why we need your donations. And I do have to correct something. Okay, I gave the wrong number on the text. Trust me, it was on the script. It wasn't me. It was a script. I got to blame somebody.
Absolutely.
To donate, please text CM50 to 41444. The correct number is 41444. Text CM50 to 41444. And we will take, like we said, any donations. Excellent. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Can we get
could have been a graphic designer. That was nice.
You could have, but I think you found your calling.
Exactly.
Let's and forgive my moving around. I don't know about you, Billy, but I still haven't mastered the Zoom camera. Like if I move this way, I go that way on screen, and vice versa. I
haven't mastered that in real life, Alonzo. Don't feel bad. I'm just hoping people don't figure out that we're not wearing pants.
Yeah, that would be embarrassing to all of you. Quiet. Let's talk about admissions.
Yes. Okay.
CLAREMATRIX is committed to meeting people where they are, no matter what the circumstance. The admissions and intake department of CLAREMATRIX receives an average of more than 20,000 calls a year and handles the admission process for thousands of people every year. Now, David Cohen, he came to CLAREMATRIX in 1994 addicted to heroin. He went on to the University of Michigan and the University of Illinois, and he is now back at Claire as the Chief Clinical Officer. So let's hear from David.
So welcome. This is CLAREMATRIX intake department. We see around 10 people a day here. We admit people that come to Claire, 80% of which have declared some sort of homelessness in the past year. Many have a substance use disorder and an accompanying mental health behavioral issue as well. They spend around 2 to 4 hours with one of our compassionate intake workers to really determine the exact nature of the symptoms presented. I'm going to introduce you to Pam right now. Pam, you want to say hi to the film crew?
Hi.
Hi Pam.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm fine today.
Are you a compassionate intake worker?
Beg your pardon?
Are you a compassionate intake worker?
Very passionate.
Compassionate.
Compassionate?
Yeah.
Compassionate and everything that comes under the umbrella of compassion.
Yeah.
We're here to actually help those save themselves. And so that's our dedication to those who have addiction and require treatment for their addiction. The typical things we see is anxiety and depression at your lowest point in life and just trying to figure things out, just really lost and wanting and needing help. I'm just saying we're here to help you find your greatness in yourself again. What I see in you is what you have to see in yourself. So it's very positive. It's very like, see yourself, what are your goals and what are your dreams? And how can we get you back on track so you could be the person and be the best person that you were, set out to be? We're still getting the homeless population. We're still getting those who are lawyers, are doctors, are LMFTs. It's across, addiction is across the board. It's just not one specific group of people. We're having more admissions and we're having a lot of heroin. I mean, the top addictions are heroin, alcohol, and meth. Heroin withdrawals are one of the worst and one of the most deadly, as well as alcohol. And so it's up to us to process them as efficiently and quickly as possible so that they can get down there and get their medication and have a safe way of their withdrawal process. I was put here to be for a purpose and to serve. I do believe in a higher power. So that's where my heart comes from. And I just want to be able to do my portion, to be able to help others. And it's something that's not learned. It's just something that's within me in my heart. And that's what you have to have here, because it's crazy here, and you take on a lot of the negative energy. So when someone comes here, they're at their lowest point. They're not looking for me to beat them down. They're looking for me to lift them up. And so that's what we're here to do. Everyone in here has experienced a family member or has experienced, a friend that is addicted. Or we've experienced the addiction ourselves. So we understand and we relate to them. And that's the beauty of it. You would speak to me because I can relate to your journey and what you've been through. And so I'm here to deepen the awareness of the emotion that you're feeling and why, and your triggers. That's what we do. We don't solve the problem. We just give you the tools so you can solve the problem yourself. Because life doesn't love you. The streets don't love you. But you have to love yourself. And so you're here to build that confidence and to get that light to a fire again. And so I'm here to help you find that light and that fire again in yourself, so you can be positive and you can go back and share your journey and your experiences with someone else who's going through the same thing that you're going through.
She was beautiful. That
Wonderful.
message
Wonderful. That's
was
it.
amazing. And on a side note, to know that David went from heroin addiction to the University of Michigan tells me that I can probably get into the University of Michigan. The admissions can't be that tough. I'm gonna take
You
a
should
shot.
go to college, man. That was really beautiful, man. And I don't know anybody who's recovered from anything that doesn't understand the secret is to give it away. And that's what we're fueling here tonight. You heard that woman speak, and she spoke from the heart again. And that's it's a molecular thing, man. That's where people get to recover. It's beautiful. I do want to mention one more time. I'm going to mention it a bunch of times, but I do want to slip in here. Our silent auction is going right now. It will go an hour after the show. There's so many cool things in there. Can we pop up a couple of the things and maybe take a look at some of the things that are in there? Look, yoga classes. Lonzo, you've been wanting to do that. We could split that. Or how about
the African photo safari? Billy,
Yeah.
my last gig when the world was open was Comedy Festival in Cape Town, South Africa. I've actually been on a safari. Don't worry about the lions. Look out for the hippos. Only advice I can give.
I've been hearing that my whole life, Alonzo. I've been hearing that my whole life. This is great. Look at this. Fit Santa Monica has donated. We got fitness classes. We got a Bengals jersey in there. I'll give you $100 to take that down. I kid you. We got a little bit of something for everybody.
You're not kidding for a minute.
Probably not. I will donate. But we have lots of great things. And again, great cause. Beatles memorabilia, personal phone calls, signed stuff, spa treatments, exercise classes, a lot of self-care things going on here that were generously donated. So please keep your eye on that silent auction tonight too, please.
That's great. And we are going to keep the videos rolling. Right now, you'll hear from the chairperson of CLAREMATRIX 2020 Board of Directors, Deb Feinberg.
Good evening. My name is Deb Feinberg, and I'm honored to be the chair of the Board of Directors of CLAREMATRIX. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming tonight and supporting us in our work. I'd also like to thank my fellow trustees, our CEO, Dr. Lisa Steele, and our incredible staff for all of their dedication and hard work. Addiction is a disease. It ravages the life of the individual sufferer, their family, friends, and our communities. The good news is that it's treatable. That's the business we're in, and that's what we take very seriously. Your contribution tonight will help us go a long way with that. When COVID-19 hit, we knew our services would be needed more than ever. The anxiety, depression, and isolation caused by the shutdown has just been enormously impactful and devastating. So we not only kept our doors open, but we've been bringing new people into our programs by honoring testing, social distancing, and CDC guidelines. Thank you again for coming tonight. Please join me in saving a life. Will you save a life tonight? I hope so. Text CM50 to 41444. I hope tonight is fun, educational, and inspirational. Thank you again.
So once again,
There you go.
CM50 to 41444.
Exactly
Or
right.
just hit the donate button. Let's do it.
That's right. That's right. Give where you can, please, all night long. Let these things take you and inspire you, and let your heart open. And please, as much as you can help, it's all appreciated, all of it. Continue right along. We got the big gun coming up here. We are going to hear next from the founder of the Matrix Institute and CLAREMATRIX board member, Jean Obert. Jean?
Hello, I'm Jean Obert, and I'm one of the co-founders, along with Richard Rawson and Michael McCann, of the Matrix Institute on Addictions. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about Matrix today. So Matrix Center, which eventually became the Matrix Institute, was started in 1984. And we started it because we needed an effective way to treat cocaine addiction. The idea was we could take the information that was actually in the research centers across the country and translate it into treatment protocols that were understandable and easily implemented for the people who were struggling with addiction. Up to that time, treatment and research really operated in two distinctly separate worlds. We developed Matrix as a way of addressing the core issues of addiction by teaching people the skills to change their thinking and their behaviors. The model eliminates the morality issues that are often associated with addiction, and it does that by teaching people how it's changes in their brain that are causing cravings and the need to use substances. Those skills, coupled with using the 12 steps simultaneously, are the keys to receiving a total mind, body, and spiritual recovery experience. Matrix model interventions were actually developed in our clinics with the help of our clients. So it was really a very grassroots kind of endeavor. Nationally funded research studies supported the effectiveness of the treatment model, and our clinical services and training programs expanded. The Matrix model is now approved by the National Institute on Health and is known globally as a gold standard, evidence-based treatment model. We've trained thousands of healthcare providers across the U.S. and in 24 countries around the world. So in 2018, Claire Foundation and the Matrix Institute merged. It was a pivotal moment in the history for both organizations, combining the strengths of each. Claire had gained a reputation over almost 50 years of being an exemplary 12-step treatment program for residential treatment. And they also had a reputation for gaining community support for those programs. While Matrix developed very effective research-based outpatient programs. And we had a reputation for being able to both efficiently do research and effectively deliver treatment in our expanding outpatient treatment programs. So today, CLAREMATRIX is a dynamic, timely, comprehensive organization that can effectively treat a much larger group of clients in a variety of settings with combined spiritual and evidence-based treatments. It's amazing and extremely promising organization that is celebrating a combined 85 plus years of experience. And it's this united organization that will keep us on the leading edge of treatment over the next 50 years. So thank you very much for supporting us and our clients, and stay safe.
Well, there it is.
All right, let's take a look at the thermostat here, see how we're doing. What?
Billy, we've had this talk. A thermostat is what you use to
Thermometer.
adjust the temp. There you go.
Well, all right. So I guess I can't get into the University of Michigan. Whatever. Let's check the thermostat, the thermometer. Let's see how much money you're giving. Look at that. We've jumped up to $271,000 and $271,029. Thank you. Thank you. The list continues to roll. MVP Consulting Group, $100. Caroline Vincent, $52. Tony Lawrence, $50. Elizabeth Bailey, $250. Charlene Gorzella, $50. Jean and Robbie Anderson, $10,000. Oh my God. Thank you.
Wow. That's 5 days of food.
And you know
That's
what?
5 days of food, 10
And
grand.
Tony Lawrence's $50 is just as important. You guys are getting it, man. That's it. Get up, get that wallet open, and get it out. Look at this. Sheila and Richard Dom Harrington, $100. The Strauss Foundation, $500. They took it off. All right. The point is, we're doing really good. We really appreciate you guys. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep going. Alonso, what do we got up next?
Coming up, this is amazing. Oh, they're just showing us again. More money is coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Billy, by the way, they got a bid on the African safari. So someone's going to Africa, which is
Stay in the
fantastic.
truck, man. Stay in the truck.
Claire alumni and previous Distinguished Alumni Award honoree, author of several books, including Becoming Ms. Burton, From Prison to Recovery to Leading the Fight for Incarcerated Women, founder and CEO of A New Way of Life, which is a nonprofit that provides sober housing to formerly incarcerated women. We're going to be hearing from Susan Burton, and we're also going to hear about the Women's Treatment Center. Okay, CLAREMATRIX Women's Treatment Center offers the only local residential rehab program in the greater Los Angeles area that welcomes pregnant and postpartum women, mothers, and all their children up to age 17. The program also seeks to increase safe and healthy pregnancies, improve birth outcomes, and prevent mental, emotional, and behavioral disorders among their children. That is absolutely amazing to help women, to help mothers, to help their children. Fantastic. Let's hear from Susan Burton.
Without mothers, none of us are here, man. None of us.
So
God
true.
bless.
My name is Susan Burton, and I am an alumni of CLAREMATRIX. My sobriety date is October 4th, 1997. That's the day I arrived at CLARE, and that's the day I found A New Way of Life. By the way, A New Way of Life is the name of the organization that I started after I left CLARE. What I found at CLARE was life-changing for me. Life-changing and life-giving. Just to give you an idea of what I looked like when I got to CLARE, I was 110 pounds. I had hair, about a couple of inches of hair, and I had spots of baldness in my head. My skin was ashen and full of pimples. I had 2 teeth in my head. And Claire sent me to the dentist. The dentist said if I'd have shook my head hard, those teeth would have fell out. And it seemed I was beyond human aid. But Claire took me in and loved me, fed me, and clothed me. And one day at a time, I got stronger, my head got clearer, I was restored. After my restoration, I went back to my community of South LA, and I began to build my version of CLARE, where I could support women who were transitioning out of prisons and jails, and I would feed them, and I would love them, and I would clothe them, and I would send them the resources, just like Claire did with me. So what Claire did with me, I feel like has had a ripple effect out across the community, actually out across the world. I'll never, ever be able to capture the magnitude of what happened to me on the beginning date of October 4th of 1997. And I'll be forever grateful to CLARE Foundation and its supporters, because without the support, people like me will not be able to find a way and a path to really step into their purpose and their meaning in life. I feel the need to come back because we can never forget the bridges that we walk across. Those same bridges we might need to walk across again, or maybe those bridges will need us to fortify it and stand it up. and keep it being a bridge for folks. So I come back to Claire because Claire gave me my new beginning. Claire gave me what no one else would give me, and that was the hope to change my life and the resources that changed my life.
So the question I wanted to ask was, how has your grief shaped you?
Losing your mother is a feeling of all its own. Everything else is just on the back burner for processing. So I'm kind of waiting to see how it does shape me. Right now the shape doesn't feel great.
Right. And when you mentioned the back burner, is that because you're focused on your sobriety right now?
I'm really tired. They say your bottom's when you stop digging. I'm pretty tired of digging. I'm ready to put the shovel in the tool shed.
At groups, what I get out of it, there's other people just like me, trying to stay clean and sober, trying to find a new way of life, being able to process our feelings, what we're going through, our struggles.
At this point, I'm not ready. I'm having some, I'm just not ready.
The death of my father, I was very close to him. I just took a hold of all the memories and the things that he taught me. You know, I knew he wanted me to be a better, stronger woman, and so, you know, with that, I gained strength from grief.
I feel like they know me and they care about me genuinely. I'm not just a client. I really feel like I'm part of their family. I was just trying to get clean on my own and I could not do it, but they never closed the doors to me. You know, they were always here for me, trying to help me.
I love what that woman said. They know you and they care for you. That is what Claire Foundation is about. And that's why we're here. We're here to raise money to keep this going. And hey, let's take a look at the auction.
Absolutely. What do we got? What do we got there? Well, we got a few more items that are doing good now. What do we got? All right, people are starting to bid. We got a bid on the Safari, like we said. What do we got? Hey, how about dance and dine and indulge on the weekend? What's that? That looks nice. That's a good way to stay out of trouble if you're married. Bid on that. What
There's
else
two
we
of them.
got?
And
there you
there's
go.
two of them. One, it looks like one at the beach, one they're dancing. They're paying a little more to go to the beach, but that's okay.
That's okay. It's the beach. That's how that works. Oh, look here. They got what's that? Is that a succulent? That's a succulent, ain't it?
Those are succulents.
An exquisite holiday succulent. That sounds like something you eat, though, don't it? Everything sounds
Billy.
like something you eat to me. Succulent.
And Billy,
order a succulents. What?
No, you don't eat the succulents. You plant them and then you leave them alone. They told me succulents need no care, and then the ones in my yard didn't make it. So I'm not sure who to believe.
You got a purple thumb, my man. You got a purple thumb. Anyway, as you can see, there's lots of great items up for bids on the auction. And again, it's going to be running for an hour after we're done here. All of the money going into helping the people you're seeing on the screen. These testimonials, all real, all from the heart, true miracles. And up next, we have a very special guest. She is this year's 2020 distinguished alumni honoree. She's another person whose experience at Claire has had an incredible ripple effect for her and her son, Ricky, and his nonprofit. Wendy has published her memoir, Motherload. Please welcome our 2020 distinguished alumni honoree, Wendy Adamson.
I didn't get to Claire till I was 39. It got really bad. I got out of the county jail for assault with a deadly weapon. And I had kind of pretty much blown up my entire life. It's been a long journey, you know, to get where I am today. But I really felt that Ruth King, who then later became the executive director of Claire, really had a lot of heart. She had lost a son, and she felt like making amends to every mother that she could help. Getting me sober would impact my kids. And that ripple effect that would go out. Just like there's a ripple effect from addiction and alcoholism, there's a ripple effect from recovery. I started to see kindness operating in the human heart, you know. People were extremely kind to me. And as much of a badass as I was at the time, or thought I was, because it was all smoke and mirrors, I had no defense against kindness. I had never had a mentor like that. And again, I didn't have a mother growing up. So Ruth King had an open door policy. She was like the heart and soul of Claire to me. You know what I mean? She was the personification of what it was all about.
What was it all about?
Helping mothers heal the relationships with their children. When I was living at Claire, that first year, I couldn't buy my son a pair of shoes. You know, I was barely making ends meet. After this woman, Becky, bought him 2 pairs of shoes, he became addicted to shoes and got sneakers like 150 pairs until he had his own bottom when he was in his early 30s and said, what am I doing with all these shoes? And he thought back about Becky, who bought him shoes decades before, and he decided to give away some shoes. And since then, we have gone back to Claire to give out shoes several times, you know, and we've given out over 25,000 pairs of shoes. If I could take a snapshot of my life, what it was like, and what Ricky's life was like, I could have never imagined that Ricky would go on and impact so many kids.
Have a soul. Yeah, I began my journey giving out sneakers to people that could use them more than me. When we went back to the Claire Foundation the first time, that was something that was special because I felt like it was full circle. We were able to give them that comfort and that confidence that I felt. And I really do feel that like Claire Foundation was responsible for that. You know, they played a key part in what I went through. When you do something for the right reason and like your heart is in it, you can tell the difference between somebody that's doing it for phony reasons. And I just really hope that they continue to do the work because I've seen the success behind what they've done.
So all of my experience, everything that I went through, I can use to help somebody else. Because if you help the mother, that's the anchor for the family system.
That's fantastic.
That's what it's about right there. That's
and you know
wonderful.
something, I mean, the Have a Soul program, just the sneakers, that's very cool because it's something you need. It's something you need, and what a way to donate. Speaking of donating,
yeah,
press the donate button.
Yes.
Press the donate button. Text CM50 to 41444. And listen, we talked about the silent auction. Let's not forget the Zoom calls in the silent auction. Okay. This is where you're going to get a chance to talk to Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee's at 1,700. Russell's at 500. We're going to get that week. We want at least a week from each of them. So we got Jamie up there. We're going to get Russell up there. You're going to get to talk to a celebrity for 10 minutes on Zoom. Please give. Please give. Now, oh, wait a minute. We also have a private live stream concert from Southern Avenue. That's at $1,250. A live stream magic show for $300. Chris Allen, private live stream concert. Listen, guys, you want to impress her on a date? A private concert for her. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. What do you think, Billy? Would your wife love that?
Absolutely. Anything that distracts her from having to talk to me is a gift to her. So yes. All good, man. All good.
Okay. While we're on the subject of celebrity, here's a big one. Okay. Now, interestingly, he grew up right around the corner from Claire. He grew up in Santa Monica. He's a documentary maker. He's a film director. He's a producer. But come on, you know who this is. Ladies and gentlemen, Academy Award nominated actor, Critics' Choice Award winner, and Thanos himself. Let's hear from Josh Brolin.
This is really a shout out for the Claire Foundation. I'm a sober, recovering alcoholic who has been in recovery since he was 19. I'm 52 now, but Didn't stay sober that whole time, but this stint has been close to 7 years on November 1st. And I just want to say, Clare Foundation, I've spoken at, I've talked to a lot of newcomers and residents there. People have passed through there. I did H&I there, hospitals and institutions. I went with some folk from H&I. And it was right down the street from me, up the street from me, because I was on Ocean Park for years, and I'm a long-term Venice Beach guy. And I know the area very well, and I know a lot of people in the area. It's programs like Clare, and I know the people's, you know, at least the people that I've come across, the involvement in it, that have made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives, not only the person getting sober, trying to get sober, and trying to look for a new way of life, but also their families, and on and on. Like in my life, you know, I remember very, very well the moment my kids trusted me again. And that was a major shift that I didn't see coming and that I wasn't actually looking for. But when it came, it was a massive, massive wake-up call, because I had realized that I had lost at least a portion of that trust. And so when I say it's very extended out into family and friends and all that, it very, very much is the case. My wife is sober, my son is sober, my daughter is marrying a sober guy. And I know it's all for one day at a time, but that's how it's kind of, the shock wave has reached outside of my own self-involved bubble. And I learned how not to be self-involved and to make sobriety fun, which I think is a major thing, especially in this day and age, where people look at sobriety as something that is going to be contracting, something that's going to be a ball and chain, something that's going to be the end of fun and the end of expansion. And in my experience, it's quite the opposite. It's something that I have to actively participate in. And it's things like that in places like Clare that are able to awaken that in people. And what an important thing. What a beautiful thing to be able to do, because honestly, I don't have to lie when I talk about this. I love sobriety. I love what it's done for me. I love what it's revealed in me. I love that it's gone back to what I was intended to be. It's brought me back to what I was intended to be, I believe. I truly believe that. And I'm not saturated in shame all day long, which is really nice. Because during my days, I was run by shame. I was run by the motor cam of shame, by the gasoline of shame. And I'm very happy not to be living by that today. So Clare Foundation, I fully support, and you know, I think it's an anniversary. I'm almost positive it's a 50-year anniversary, so happy anniversary. And 50 years, if that's indeed the case, of glorious giving back, because that's what it's all about, giving back to the newcomer. And happy 50th, Clare Foundation.
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
Hey, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I love what he said about how it expands. You think sobriety contracts, it actually expands. I didn't find my comedy career until 5 years of sobriety. That's when I started doing comedy, and my whole life has changed. I'm living a dream I didn't have before I got here. He is so right about that. And this is what your donations help happen.
Exactly right. And look, if Thanos can make amends and get sober, I know you can if you're out there struggling. All right. That was so heartfelt, man. That's the common thread you keep hearing through all these videos. The people that give back to Clare, the people who've been through the Clare program, and then the people who are just in recovery, just know how important it is to give of themselves. And if you can find that, not only does it give you a peace in your life, but your life opens up to where you're supposed to be. And that has happened to me as well. So, and I'm just so grateful we're here and we're getting to do this and be a part of this. I do want to tell you what's up next here. We're going to see a couple spots here. The first one we're going to see is the men's treatment program with Anderson Broussard and Richard Cortez. And they want me to let you know approximately 3,000 people receive residential treatment annually at CLAREMATRIX. 98% of the people we serve depend on some form of government funding to pay for their treatment services. So again, so important to keep donating and to keep this flame alive at their 50th anniversary. Also, they have a homeless outreach program, which I think is just a beautiful thing with our director, Jolyn Dawson and Malik Owens. And, more than 75% of the people that enter residential programs at CLAREMATRIX report that they are currently experiencing some form of homelessness. So nearly 90% of the people we serve now are below the poverty line. So there's no gimmies here, man. And you hear people say things like, you just need to toughen up and get out there. We all know that's not the answer. That's not the answer. The answer is love, the willingness of an open heart, and somebody there who's been through the journey to help you walk through yours. And we're going to see more and more of that.
And we are going to hear from a prolific actor who's become a restaurateur. And when you talk about beauty, this is a beautiful man, Danny Trejo. Okay. And when I say beautiful man, Danny plays bad guys. Danny plays the killer. Danny's the gangster.
He's you know what? He's the scariest sweetheart I ever met, man.
Great description. We're also going to hear from Claire alumni and marketing and communications analyst Jason Lansford. So we got a bunch of people for you to hear from. Here we go.
My name is Anderson. This is Richard. This is my best friend. The guy I call at 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm losing my mind and I'm crying and I'm like, dude, I don't understand these clients. And Richard always says what?
Anderson, say your prayer, go to sleep, quit stressing, talk to your God. In the morning we'll talk to God and he'll tell us what to do with this client.
Claire's an OG in this. Claire is hardcore. Claire, come on, man. Come on, dude. Claire been here for 50 years, saving lives for 50 years. Them doors on Pico and 9th been open for 50 years. Through everything, through all kind of fine. Didn't care who the president was, the doors was open. Didn't care what the budget was, the doors was open. No matter who you are, what you are, and why you are, we're here to help. We have people taking cakes we got people who walked in our program 3 years ago who are still sober. A lot of RBH outpatient programs can't say that. I can say that with a lot of pride. Claire outpatient, CLAREMATRIX outpatient. We're unstoppable. What kept them open? The people who work here. Because it ain't about the money, the people who work here. People who work here, man.
This is what Claire is. It's a family.
Family.
It's not a treatment. It's family.
Family.
This is a family place.
Family.
This is a place where you come and you learn what family is.
Right.
You learn that somebody cares and you learn how to care.
Right.
You learn to have compassion and you learn how to receive compassion.
Claire's been here since 1970. Claire's the only program on the west side that's been open this long and has welcomed the doors open to anybody. It doesn't matter what drug you used, where you come from, rich, poor, they were set up to just help an addict and alcoholic find sobriety, learn how to be clean and learn how to live their lives, learn how to listen to spiritual principles in their life, learn how to be productive members of society, learn how to be fathers, learn how to be mothers, learn how to be responsible and go to work, learn how to pay bills, learn how to have a car with tags and a license and insurance, Simple stuff like that. A lot of people came through Claire. Santa Monica is a city where a lot of people become homeless because they come out from other states to California to be movie stars, and then they run out of money and end up homeless on the beach. They used to pick up people on the beach instead of taking them to jail, for drugs or alcohol and bring them to us. The homelessness and drug problem here in LA now is probably way greater than it was when I first started working here, because we got all these new drugs, and they're really cheap. To watch a person transform from looking dead to being alive is one of the best gifts that you can get when you work in treatment, when your heart's there, you know. I always tell the clients this: I'm not going to talk to you, but I'll talk to your heart.
What does it look like when you're on the street?
We don't stop to say hi. We walk by, we avoid eye contact. We don't empathize at all and try to understand this person's situation. And we have had people in this program who have experienced homelessness